What's good, people? We back at it. You know what it is. It's another episode of favorite podcast. Hopefully soon, if not already, become your favorite podcast of What's the Word with LJ Mentor. And as always, I'm your host with the most, LJ. We back in here another week. And oh man, this is it. 2020. This is the last week of 2020. Tomorrow's December 31st. Today's the 30th. So yeah, we in the last really like day and a half or so of the year 2020, and I know just about everybody didn't have enough of this year. So many people tired of being stuck in the house. But a lot of us been finding new creative ways to be productive with our time, and that's really amazing. And if you have overcome, kudos to you, and those of us who have been struggling. It's hard. I mean, we all gonna get there. We all go through our ups and downs. Everybody. I know this year has been really tough on a lot of us this year, and I feel for you. I'm really gonna be praying for you, despite whatever your beliefs is. I'm still gonna be praying for everybody. But yeah, this year been real crazy, right? And so this week we doing a look back at the year 2020. So I just thought I'd take the opportunity to do that this week, since we are in basically the last week of 2020. I thought it'd be an interesting time to look back and discuss a couple other things as well. So as you know by now, if you've been listening to me, get into my word of the week. I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. But first off, I want to start about, like I said, looking at this year. For one, I'm going to cover this in a couple different ways. So for one, I want to look back at, I like to look at this too, because one thing, we can look at the good, we can look at the bad. And at the end of the day, regardless of whatever you're going through, the best thing is to find a solution. Because sitting there complaining about shit and not doing shit about it, that don't do nothing. It don't help you. It don't help the people suffering with you. All it does is continue turmoil. If you're just sitting around waiting for some handout, good luck. At the end of the day, you gotta keep it pushing and find solutions. I know it's hard, but we gotta keep it pushing, man. We can't be soft out here. We gotta survive. And so yeah, I want to look back at, for one, things. I want to start off on a positive one. Let's look at some of the things people have done this year. There's been a lot of people. Unfortunately, it's been some closings of businesses, and people aren't going to survive. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry to hear that. Hopefully, you can open back up if you have closed down. But I like to look at the people starting their own business this year, starting their own ventures this year. People have been able to work from home this year. Some people have, I've noticed, calling up on some reading. Some people have even given me some great books to read. I like self-help books. And one I'm reading right now is by Claude Anderson, Powernomics, the National Plan to Empower Black America. But I feel like anybody can read this book. It's a great read. Another one I recommend is Intelligent Investor, but I like, some people have given me some books to bounce off of, but yes, there's one thing, I think this year too, some people I've noticed have gotten a workout routine. The gyms have been closed, yes. I think some have opened outside. I'm not fully sure in every city, every state how it's been working, but me, I've been working out from home. I've been slipping some days, but I've been getting back. I've been more consistent than not, but I've been seeing some people been actually use this time to get in shape, since you have more time in your hands. Just because the gym is closed don't mean you can't work out from home. Cardio is a big thing, and your strength lifting is a major thing too, and your legs is important. That can be done from home. It's not quite as, I guess, convenient. I think maybe it would be a good word to use as working out in the gym, but you can still do a lot at the crib. You can. I've been doing some cardio at the house, doing some push-ups, sit-ups. I can even, like I said, I mean, it's a bunch of workout videos on YouTube too that you don't gotta pay for too. So yeah, it's a ton of shit out there. Um, just gotta know where to find it and be willing to find it. But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people using this time to get in shape. Like I said, starting businesses, starting their own ventures, starting a podcast. I'm just list a couple things I've done this year. I've been saying for the longest time, for many years, that I wanted to start a business. Didn't know how to go about it. Even when I was still living in Buffalo, New York, years ago, I got a DBA, doing business as. It's not the same thing as actually having a business in your name. I got that years ago. And even when I lived in Pennsylvania, went to college, but I've always wanted to have my own business. Not sure on what. And as I slowly started to get older, I started thinking, okay, I can have my own business doing graphic design, which is what I do outside of this podcast. I do that. I also I do photography too. I picked up some photography. I did some photography classes, plus I had some on-the-job training as well, working for some people. And I just implicated that in all my business. I'm like, why not stuff I already know how to do? Stuff, I think anybody, a lot of skills are needed. You just got to find ways to be creative with it. A bunch of skills are needed in this world. You never know who might need those skills. Whatever your skill set is that you could offer. I don't know, mine personally, my businesses outside of this podcast, like I said, I do graphic design for people. I specialize in logos, advertisements. You can go check out my website as well, mentaldesigns.inc.com. I also got clothes on there I'm wearing, my brand now. If you're watching me on YouTube, I got my hat on. For the podcast, I designed the logo myself. I also got hoodies. I got one of my hoodies on right now for Mental Designs Inc. I also have a bunch of clothing with a bunch of inspirational sayings for black people. And not just for black people, but I also got some inspirational sayings for people, period. I thought especially with the crucial time we're in right now and over the years with black people. One of my sayings is my black divinity is not a threat to you. I think that's important, and we have to be proud to be black and realize we are divine creatures. We are not God, but we made in the image of God. So that's the idea behind that. But yeah, I got a bunch of creative sayings on there too, like push, pray, execute. I'm gonna be adding some more pretty soon, so look out for that. So yeah, so basically like clothing, photography, and graphic design. So yeah, I had a little bit of a brain freeze there. Excuse me on that. But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been forcing everybody to really do things different and having distancing and Zoom. Man, oh man, that's been a real crucial part for a lot of people this year. I've been on Zoom sometime this year as well myself. But I know a lot of people have been working from home, and I think a lot of companies are going to shift to that. But some companies obviously you can't. But if you involve on a computer, most of your time in the day for jobs like that. I know a lot of people that actually are working from home, and shout out to y'all. And if you got to have a meeting with your supervisor, or whatever, or your team, or whoever you're working with, that can all be done on Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, whatever. Like there's so many video talking platforms out there, face chat platforms out there that you can have these type of meetings, and you can showcase whatever you need to showcase, talk about whatever you want to talk about via face chat. So I think a lot of companies are probably gonna shift to that moving forward, and that's dope. If you can work from home, that's pretty dope. Get paid beyond the clock at the crib, working at the crib, that's dope. I mean, I know everybody can't do that, unfortunately, especially people that work in these different stores. So certain things are crucial, but I think that everybody's shifting. That's been a major thing. We've had tools for especially with the technology over the last 10 years. We've had technology that's come so far away that I think a lot of these companies are realizing like, oh, we've had these tools all along. Let's utilize them for real now. I think that's been a major thing. I think that's one of the major things I see in 2020 is like a lot of people are realizing we've had these tools at our disposal for quite some time now. Let's really start utilizing them the way we should going forward, especially in a technology-driven world that's going absolutely nowhere. So it's only going to get better, more advanced over the years. I don't know what's going to come next. I have no idea. But yeah, over the years, technology is going to get more advanced, more sophisticated, and I think everybody's going to be forced to go along with it. We just got to move with the times, and that's what we've been really kind of forced to do. Cause everybody to sit their ass down and figure this shit out, which I think we have for the most part. You know, it's still hard for a lot of us. I know that, and but I'm just trying to give people some ideas on what you can do out here on during this lockdown. We've had so many different things. Whatever your skill set is, whatever you've been working for, whatever company you've been working for. If you have an entrepreneur mindset, if you feel like you can grind, if you've always felt like, okay, and entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, like, let's be real about it. You might think it is in you, but you really not cut out for it. Let's be real about it. I mean, I feel like I've always had that mindset. I've always had, I feel like, leadership qualities in me, someone who can run their own business, and it's really all about growth and building. And you have to embrace who you are at the end of the day. That's in your personal and professional world. You gotta fully embrace who you are. Don't give a fuck what nobody thinks. Everybody not gonna understand your vision. If people not gonna be on the ride with you, then they need to move the fuck out the way. I'm just being real about it. Like, not everybody gonna be on your side. Some people gonna be secretly hating on you. That's why I don't tell nobody playing shit what I'm doing until it's actually done. I got some things in the work. I might tell maybe one or two people, maybe. I might got 2 or 3 people I'll tell my idea. Maybe I might have some I want to bounce off of them. Maybe they got some ideas. I like to, don't have no yes people around you either. You want people that's supportive, but always gonna be honest with you too. Even when it hurts, it might piss you off at first, but it's for your own benefit. That shit is really medicine at the end of the day. It might be telling something you don't want to hear. I've had it a couple times where they pissed me the fuck off, but I looked at it like, you know what? They was giving me some really sound advice, and I needed it. And sometimes it might be something you might not want to hear, but at the end of the day, we need that in our life. We need people to be honest with us, because that's the only way we're gonna grow. So I think, especially this year, I think everybody could use a dose of that this year. But yeah, I think the main thing, fully embrace who you are. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, go forward with it. Whatever skill set you've had or you might have, that maybe you might have a hobby that you actually want to turn into a career where you can make some dough from it, some bread, some money from it. Who knows? But there's so many ways you can utilize your skills to make some money out there. It's just at the end of the day, you need good people around you to help grow whatever you got going on. That's what I'm in the process of doing right now. I just listed a couple of things I've done this year. So I started my business, Mental Designs Incorporated, listed my skills, what I do. I started this podcast this year. I believe it was March or April this year of 2020 I started it. So yeah, this is episode number 35. We gonna keep it going. And I was listening to something earlier this year that a lot of podcasts don't make it past the 10th episode. So I don't know, I'm just finding new ways, and as time goes on, I'm gonna find new ways to get better at this along with my other endeavors I'm doing. So it's only going up from here. So yeah, we just gonna keep it pushing. So yes, I did that, started my podcast, got on my workout regimen, I got into. I was never really a big reader like that. Me, I like. I said I've been reading books this year. I like self help books. Something I don't really like fiction, some tales, stuff like that. If I want that, I might watch a TV show or something. But as far as reading, I want something that's gonna give me knowledge and help me grow. Uh, so and obviously, I listed some things you can do this year. So I want to talk about. Uh, so we've had some negative effects this year, as far as obviously the lockdown, the pandemic. A lot of people getting sick. A lot of people not knowing what to do as far as getting income if you've been laid off. Uh, a lot of different. It's affected obviously how people is gonna figure out their next move. This really has affected everything. So we know what the problems are, right? Whatever the problems are in your life, you have to find a solution. And that's why I mentioned that book I was reading, Powernomics. He lists in the book, one thing I love the clients, he lists the problems we have. We know how fucked up whatever shit is with black people in this systemic racistly systemic society. Oh, I said that wrong. This racial society. We know the issues, right? Whatever issue you may have, and he addresses like, okay, this is the solutions I got, and this very sound plan that I have. So at the end of the day, we gotta be, and maybe it sounds like a cliche that we play chess, not checkers. It kind of sounds like a cliche, but it's really not. Like, if you understand what that means, it basically means like we move in strategic. We move in, I think, with emotion, with strategy, and don't move off emotion. How you feel, this is work. At the end of the day, you want to do what's right, not how you feel, because how you feel might not be right at the time. And if you're moving off emotion, it could lead to disaster. So I think, from a deeper sense, to me, that's what saying move. This is chess, not checkers. But no, not checkers, because checkers can be a thinking game too. There's actually some really competitive tournaments in checkers too. So I know people say that thinking checkers is, I guess, a dumb man's game, but it's really not. Checkers can be highly competitive too, but chess is more known to be a thinkest person game. And I had a conversation with somebody recently who's very technical, and they are very a very intelligent person, has a lot of knowledge. And I was really shocked they never really played chess, because it's a thinking person game. So I was really surprised by that. But yeah, it is a thinkers person game. But yeah, it's So yeah, we talked about the goal, we talked about the problem. So yeah, I wanted to look back at unfortunately we had a lot of deaths this year as well, right? I was telling somebody the other day, like, we already knew this year was gonna be fucked up. It started out with Kobe dying. Kobe died in January of 2020. So that's already a fucked up start to the year. I mean, me personally, Kobe Bryant was my favorite player of all time growing up. I'm not saying he's the GOAT. I think Michael Jordan is the GOAT. But me being 32, born in 88, I saw more of Kobe Bryant growing up. Michael Jordan won his sixth title in 1998. I think I was, 8 or 9 years old during that time period. So I saw more Kobe Bryant growing up, and Kobe was amazing. To me, he was always been my all-time favorite player, and to hear that he passed away, especially the way he did with his daughter and those other people that died, that lost their people from their families, it's very tragic. And I'm like, damn, this is a horrible start to this year. Man, it's crazy. So look back at that. We lost Chadwick Boseman, and I talked about that in an earlier episode this year. Chadwick Boseman, and the word that just keeps ringing in my mind with him is legacy. Cause I feel like he left a lasting mark forever. Like not just with Black Panther, all the things he's done on film. And when I hear people talk about him, I feel how he's such a great guy and things he's done. That's word that keeps ringing in my mind is legacy. With him. Most recently, Tiny Lister, most known probably from Debo from Friday, unfortunately passed away this year. the guy Pop Smoke, the rapper, passed away earlier this year. There's been so many unfortunate deaths this year. I think the rapper Fred the Godson passed away from COVID. They say. Yeah, there's been some unfortunate deaths this year, and there's many more that I can't think of right now. There's many more famous and non-famous who have died from COVID. Over 300,000 people in the U.S. alone have died from COVID. And rest in peace to all those individuals. Just because somebody's famous, somebody not, that don't make their life any less important. I don't give a damn what nobody say. I mean, the millions may mourn Kobe and all these other guys, but to those people's families, whoever died, they just as important to them. So I don't give a damn what people say about that. Those people's lives are not any more important than the other just because they're famous. They're not. So the word of the week is, I'm a little late with this. I wanted to use this time too to talk about some conspiracy theories, right? I always love a good conspiracy theory, so my word of the week is conspiracy. And actually, let me take a little break, and then I'm gonna get back to you on that. We'll be right back.